What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great Tuesday. But it is Tuesday, so that means we're behind enemy lines with the Philadelphia Eagles opponent. And, well, in Week 14, we've got the Dallas Cowboys one last time this season. And probably the last time because, they're not going to make it very far into the playoffs like usual since 1995. But look, it's Dallas week, so I'm excited. Hope you're excited. You know that the last game we just played, it was a tough one. We're going to hope that the Eagles learn from it, grow from it, get better all because of it. So sometimes you need smacked in the mouth. That's what we got. We know the issues the Eagles have. Now, I'm not one of those casual fans or anybody. You got to fire everyone, cut the whole team. Everybody sucks. We're not going there. I think this Eagles team's still the best in the NFL. Oh, wait, they are 10-2. Huh, weird. But this game, we get to go out and prove it. So fight for the NFC East, a fight for the number one spot in the NFL. So, oh boy, going to be a barn burner. But we're going to break it down, get to know the Eagles' Week 14 opponent, everything you need to know from the roster moves they've made, their standings in the conference division, their stats and rankings, and then, of course, their roster by position with the depth chart, their IR, the coaches. So everything that's going on with the Cowboys, we're going to get to know it tonight. Appreciate you taking the time, though. You have any thoughts on this, any questions, feel free to leave it down below. But let's rock and roll, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start it off now. We saw these guys before the bye, so not too much change, but just in case you've been missing anything or, you just want a little recap, here you go. So now you can see here, look, the draft picks not exactly faring the way they wanted to, but they do have a couple decent picks in there. They lost a couple of key pieces, Zeke, McGovern, Schultz, Hilton and Brown, and then Gifford I have there because, well, they've been having some linebacker issues. So they added Rashaan Evans. They've got Gilmore and Cooks we talked about. So nothing too crazy here. But, they decided they were going to try to run it back from last year, only adding a couple of pieces. So we're going to see how that works out for them. But let's take a look at how it has worked out for them so far. So you can see on the defense, sorry, hold on one second. Sorry about that. Herschel doing his daily trying to ruin the video. You could see 10-2, and then Cowboys 9-3 right behind us. So again, the battle for the NFC East. We got to win. We got to stay atop the NFL here. So look, and obviously we're trying to stay ahead of the NFC, get that bye. So as you can see here, number one in the NFC, Cowboys there at number 5 because of the other divisional leaders there in front of them. But look, man, anything can change from week to week. You can see the teams that are fighting for some of the playoff spots weren't even in the mix. So going to be a tight race down to the end, whether that be for the number 1 spot, the wild card spot. So really excited to see how this stuff plays out. But that is how both teams are doing there. But look, we'll take a look at these stats. You take them all with a grain of salt. But, man, the Cowboys, I'm going to be real with you. They've been doing pretty damn well this year. And you can see 1st in points, 5th in total yardage on offense, 3rd in passing, 11th in rushing, tied for 10th in sacks given up there, tied for 6th in interceptions, 4th in fumbles lost, tied for 1st in turnovers. So only 0.8 per game, holding on to the ball, putting up points. That is a great combo. So you see on the defensive side of the ball, 4th in points allowed, 3rd in total yardage. And look, they're a very talented roster here. 7th in sacks, tied for 3rd in interceptions, tied for 25th in fumbles recovered, and then 1.5 turnovers per game, tied for 12th, but still, I mean, a damn good defense, a lot of playmakers here. And, this Eagles team, not going to give you those stats. If you're a stat watcher, the Cowboys are definitely your team. But for me, obviously, a lot more goes into it, the context of it. Obviously, the Cowboys were giving a very easy schedule by the NFL. The Eagles, on the other hand, given the hardest in NFL history. They try to put us in this gauntlet. You saw we had to play 3 games in 13 days there with, the 3 best in the NFL, the Chiefs, Bills, and Niners. We walk out 2-1 from that. And look, this entire gauntlet, we beat the Dolphins, the Commanders, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Bills. So they're trying their best to, stack the cards against the Eagles. They gave the Cowboys 10 days rest for this one, just like they did for the 49ers. So they're doing all they can to shut down the Eagles. But I think it's going to take the refs, it's going to take the fields, the NFL commissioner, everybody they can to stack up on the Eagles here. I'm not one of those fans that think the season is over. I actually still feel the Eagles are the Super Bowl impending winners here. So I'm very confident in this team, and hopefully the Jerry Jones and the Cowboys gave enough to the refs this week. But let's take a look at the coaching staff here. You've got McCarthy, Schottenheimer, Quinn, Fossil, still the coaches here on the Cowboys. And let's take a look now at their roster. And Dak Prescott still leading the way and had a couple good games against some really horrible teams. And, you've seen the media jump, oh my God, this may be the greatest season ever. Hilarious. But he's got over 3,200 yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He is having a great year. I'm busting balls. He really is doing well here. We need to do our best to shut him down. And look, we've had to face the top quarterbacks in the league the past few weeks. We've had some good practice. So got to do our best to shut it down. Looking forward to talking about that with the top matchups. You can see at running back, they've got Pollard, Dowdle. We're the best. Now we've had our struggles, but he's got 737 yards on the season, 4.1 yards per carry. Dowdle behind him also has 4.1 yards per carry. He's having a decent season as well here. And then Deuce Vaughn, the rookie, you got on the practice squad, Malik Davis. So just like every show, if anyone's on the practice squad or IR, you will see him at the bottom there. Now, they do have a fullback in Hunter Lepke. So that is a new addition to this roster. And then at wide receiver, you've still got Lamb. We talk about Cooks there, Gallup, Tolbert, Turpin, and Brooks down at the bottom. Look, CeeDee Lamb, we know one of the better wide receivers in the game. He's got 1,182 yards on the season, 7 touchdowns, having a great year. So he and Dak continue to do their thing. So we got to try to shut that down. But difference is this time around, we actually have a nickel corner. So we're not going to have linebackers and our safeties covering CeeDee Lamb. And I know they said, got to be the greatest receiver of all time, beating linebackers like that. But believe it or not, that's really not that impressive. Now at tight end, this kid, I'm still pissed I didn't pick him up in fantasy when I talked about this earlier in the season. But Jake Ferguson, man, we know that Dak likes to throw to his tight ends, and Ferguson is second on the team in receiving yards at 498. He's got one more than Cooks, one more game played, but still pretty impressive. 10.8 yards per catch there and 5 touchdowns. So Ferguson's doing well, but Schoonmaker, that's another talented kid. He's got 2 touchdowns on the season. I think, another very good tight end in the wings there for them. So got to watch out for the tight end position. We know the Eagles linebackers, we've had some issues there. So thankfully, we added Shaq Leonard. Now on the O-line, you can see Tyron Smith, Tyler Biades, Zach Martin, and Terrence Steele. You see the depth guys there, some practice squad guys, and they're on the IR. But same O-line as we saw last time. So the offense, pretty much same damn thing, man. So we just got to hope that now with our defense getting a little healthier, we can stand up to the test. And after getting smacked around last week like that, embarrassing, you got to come out swinging. So I hope to see that from the Eagles offense. Now, the Eagles defense. Now on the Eagles offense, going up against this Cowboys D. And I can't wait to get in the top matchups. Last time it was great talking about just holy crap, man. But you got Osa Odigizua here, and you got Jonathan Hankins, Gallimore, Golson, and then, of course, Mozzie Smith, a bust of a first-round pick, not playing much because he's just not good. So unfortunate for them, but typical Cowboys, not drafting well. I'm sure they'll be looking to the waiver wire for someone that has been recently arrested. Now, on to the edge rushers. You can see here that, man, they're stacked here as well. Micah Parsons, don't let him catch you in the bathroom. And then you got DeMarcus Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler Jr., Tyrus Wheat. So, look, a very talented room here. And Micah Parsons, man, I don't think I have to explain it. You can line him up all over the place. But weirdly enough, he struggles mightily with the Eagles. Last game, he did pretty well, though. So 11.5 sacks on this season, 13 tackles for a loss, 2 passes deflected, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovered. So dude is just balling out at an all-pro level like usual. We know we have to key on him on defense, shut him down. And look, our pass rush on offense, we have really struggled at times. So bring your A game for this one. Lane Johnson, he put on a masterclass, on Sunday. I don't know if anyone saw that, but we were getting our ass kicked so bad it was really hard to tell what was going on there. So going to be another tough battle. The NFL doing all they can to stack the odds against the Eagles, and I truly appreciate it because they're only building a champion, and I'm going to thank them once the Eagles win the Super Bowl this season. Now, at linebacker, we do have a change from last time we saw them. Rashawn Evans is on the active roster here, so wasn't good enough to stick around with the Eagles, had to be let go. And, the Cowboys weren't good enough to acquire Shaq Leonard, so kind of had to go with the bargain bin version there of Rashawn Evans. So Rashawn Evans, a real bust. This is a guy that's never amounted to, his first round pick status. But obviously the Eagles got Shaq Leonard, who has been an all pro, obviously getting a little bit older, but at least he has done something in his career. Hilarious to see Cowboys fans crying that we got Shaq Leonard. And I don't blame them because that sucks. Now, Marquise Bell, we talked about him before the draft a couple of years ago. Really like his skill set, talked about his versatility. And sure enough, you see him playing linebacker here for the Cowboys. So somebody I really had liked before he became a Cowboy, but very talented. So they do have, Damone Clark there from LSU. They got some decent linebackers there, but we need to exploit that. Now, cornerbacks, Gilmore, Bland, Lewis, Igbinoghene, picked him up from the Dolphins. You got Wright, the rookie Scott. Now, Diggs and Goodwin on the IR there. So Bland having an all-pro season, doing well. Now, he's not the greatest in coverage, but he can intercept the ball, kind of like Trevon Diggs. So it looks like they found themselves a Trevon Diggs clone, which obviously you just find somebody that's a playmaker, not good in coverage. So maybe they'll draft a receiver next year and just put him back there at corner. That seems to be their game plan. Now, at safety, you've got, a very talented group here. They use all three of these safeties here: Wilson, Hooker, Curse, Wanye Thomas there, Israel Mukwamu, and Sheldrick Redwine there on the practice squad. So, a very talented safety room. They are stacked from top to bottom. You hear a lot of whiny fans talking about how the Eagles, they can't believe that they would try to build a good team. It's not fair that teams, try to build their team well and have a good team. So I'm not sure how Cowboys fans are making it through this season, but they have a good team. And I don't know how that's working for them because they always say you're not allowed to have a good team if you want to be a good team. So, quite the conundrum for Cowboys fans. So Aubrey, Anger, Sieg here, the specialist, and then Turpin. Also good. So I'm not allowed. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, though. I don't want to upset Cowboys fans. Now, let's take a look at the whole practice squad here. All that stuff you just saw by position. Let's give you the full list here. So now you've got 10 on offense, and you've got 6 there on defense. And they might need to elevate somebody dependent on injury, but nothing, jumping off the page other than Martavis Bryant after like 4 years out of the NFL. He comes back. And of course, the Cowboys are always sitting on the police scanner. The waiver wire looking for an addition. So never know who they're going to add. Now, with the reserves for the Cowboys, these are the guys you will not see on the depth chart. You saw them at the bottom, but just give you a full list here. You got Ball, Diggs, Durden, Fajoku, Goodwin, Hendershot, Overshown, Stevens, Van Der Esch, and Veletsko. Now, let's get into this depth chart. Take a gander here. On offense, anybody in white is new to the team here. And as I had mentioned, didn't add too much here. So they added Brandon Cooks, added a fullback in Lepke, but you've got depth pieces in Lance, Vaughn, Brooks, Schoonmaker, Edoga, Richards, Bass. So didn't really change much, trying to run it back. And look, they've got a very talented offense, so makes sense. And then the same can be said, a very talented defense here. So, adding Stephon Gilmore, a great addition there, but Mozzie Smith, a terrible draft pick, Rashawn Evans there. You got some other pieces, but, trying to run it back again. And look, a good team, but not sure that this is a Super Bowl caliber team. So we get to find out this Sunday, but here are their specialists as well, not to leave anybody out. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is what the Dallas Cowboys are looking like for Week 14 against the Philadelphia Eagles. So if you enjoyed this, do me a favor or got something from it, do me a favor, hit that like button. You can always subscribe down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. I will be back tomorrow. I will have not only will you'll get the injury report for both teams, any kind of roster moves we'll be talking about. And then on Thursday, you'll get the top matchups, individually breaking down all these matchups, all the stats for every single person. I try not to give too much in this one, just to give you a look at the team. Then we break it down throughout the week. So I hope to see you throughout this week. But again, if you have anything on your mind, would love to hear from you. You can leave it in the comments. You can always reach out on any of these platforms down below. But I hope you're all having yourselves a great week. Oh, you know what? Let me put it out here right now. We're going to sign Zach Ertz. Let's put some good juju out there, right? How about that? Because we got Shaq Leonard. I know it was rough. Sunday sucked, man. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of you are going to not comment at all on all the work I just put into this and completely continue to whine. I know a lot of fans aren't built for this Eagles fan base. It totally makes sense. But whatever's on your mind, I don't care. For me, I'm very confident in this Philadelphia Eagles team, and I think we're going to whoop the Dallas Cowboys' ass come this Sunday night. But I hope you're all having a great day. I hope you stay safe out there. Until next time, I'm Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. Thank you for taking the time. Stay safe out there. Have yourself a great rest of your night. And as always, say it with me now, Dallas sucks. Cowboys!